Having said that, let's go to today's topic, which is faith is magnetic energy. Why do I call faith magnetic energy? You all know the definition of faith in the Bible, where it says, calling things not seen as though they are seen, calling things not existing now into existence. Okay? Which is also simply believe, okay? Which simply means believe is actually that you don't know it, you cannot experience it right now, okay? But you believe it exists. So belief or faith is actually a graduated faith. So belief is a graduated faith. So because for me, belief just stops at not knowing something, but you believe you have it. Well, it's faith again, but it does not give you the technical meaning of belief of faith. So the reason I chose this topic is so that you will today understand the technical meaning of faith. At the end of this lesson from Guarantee Life, you will understand what faith means and the practical application of faith in your daily life. Good evening. So I've defined it as calling things not seen as though they are seen. You already know what all of those things are. But why do I say it's a magnetic energy? Faith is a magnetic energy because it is the tool that attracts those things that are not currently in your direct experience, you're not currently experiencing in your physical world. It is the tool that attracts it. So faith is a tool. So for example, good evening. You know magnet. So that physical thing that you see, that's faith. The physical magnet that you see, that's faith. But the force that pulls, which is the magnetic force, you don't see it. Yeah, how are you? Yeah. How's your dad? So it is the combination of these two. So that physical black thing that you see and the force field that black thing emits, which is the magnetic field. These two things are what faith and feeling is. So this is how creating happens, and by creating I mean calling those things that are not currently in your physical experience into coming into your physical experience. As the Bible put it, calling those things not seen as though they are seen. Okay? So faith is the tool, is the object. Then the magnetic field that then attracts things towards that object, that black magnet object that you see, is the magnetic field, is an energy field. So to understand what I'm trying to say, the magnet is faith. That is, the magnet itself, the physical object is faith. Then the force field that is not physical, you can't see, but it pulls things towards the magnet, is feeling. So, feeling is the fuel, is what drags, is the force that drags things to you. Welcome. Hi, baby. And that was your day. You had a nice day, yeah?
Yes.
Welcome. Yeah. Do you have chicken this year?
Yes, I have.
Atlantis is now 30,000. Eh? I know I'm going to chop chicken this December. Eh? Okay. I'll follow up with you. Yeah. So, these are the two things that shapes the world around you. And both of them are happening inside of you. As within, so without. In one of my teaching, you see a part of the, Bible where Christ was talking about the things that are inside are not the ones that hurt you, but the things that are outside are not the ones that hurt you, but the things that are inside. So from the inside, that's where the source is, right? So you now understand why I have now said that faith is magnetic energy, because obviously you can't separate that black object with the magnetic pool, the characteristics of magnetic pool it possesses. You cannot separate it. So that is what faith is. That is what faith and feeling are. So in essence, what this means is that the force that pulls that into the magnetic field, is what is the key component in all of this loop. That's the key component. And I'm not telling you today that your feelings, how you feel, is that magnetic force that pulls the world you see around you. And now I know that the so-called body of Christ, or the Christendom, will always teach you and say that they will always teach you okay, I think no, let me not go that route, so that, because I want to make sure I simplify this so that you understand it very well. So you now understand what I mean by faith is magnetic energy. You now understand the dynamics between the object and the magnetic pull power and faith and feeling. So feeling is what you should focus on. And now I know you've read a lot of book which says change your thoughts. There's a lot of book out there in the Western world that teaches on changing one's thought and change your life. Actually, that's a misconcept, regarding the thinking feeling loop. It's a misconcept, because what actually drives your thoughts are your feelings. And there's a litmus paper to test whether your thoughts is where you want it to be or it doesn't want it to be. So what actually drives your thoughts is your feeling. So feeling is the core key, is the key component when it comes to how you can change the world around you, not thoughts. By the way, anybody who is telling you to change your thoughts is people should not be telling you what. People should not be telling you what they themselves cannot do. How will you be able to change something that have in a split second you have, or is it a minute, you have over 60,000 thoughts hit your mind? So which one would you be able to track and change? You know what I mean, sir? Yeah. Do you get? So that's why, despite a lot of material out there from the Western world on changing your thought and changing your feelings, people are still not able to do it because it's not practical. It's not something you can do. You have 60,000 thoughts hit your mind in 1 minute or 1 second. I can't remember the exact measure. How would you then be able to change that? It's impossible. That's one. The second thing is that you don't go and start changing something that is not the origin of the problem. If you want to solve any problem, you need to go to the origin, where it all started. And it is in feeling. How practical is this? This is how practical it is. It is how you feel that determines how you act. It determines, so what the moment you feel, the next thing that comes is thoughts. And then after thinking, you act. This is how it goes. You can check yourself on it and you will see it. Hello. How's the day? Welcome. Do you understand? It is first of all feeling. Then once you feel in a certain way, whether sad, whether anxious, whether free, whether secured, whether insecure, good evening, whatever you feel, after you feel it, it starts then manifesting. According to the feeling, you start manifesting different thoughts, and it is then those thoughts that now determine how you would act. So it is feeling, then thoughts, then action. That's how. So if you want to then change anything, you can't change the act that is on the surface. You won't, because you have not addressed the underlying issue. You cannot change the thoughts. It's not going to work because you have not addressed the underlying issue. What you can change is how you feel, and that is even practical. It's something you can do. Okay, I will teach you how to do it. So the essence really of this discussion or this lesson today is that yes, you can actually change the world around you, but you don't change the world around you from, as Jesus said it in the Bible, from things that are from the outside. Things that are from the outside is already a product of something from the inside. So you don't go outside changing anything. It will not work. Okay? And the interesting thing about the nature of your innerness, okay, is that if your feeling is on a certain way, its manifestation on the outside will be numberless. To be manifesting, you'll be having different situations that would be aligning to that feelings that you have internally. So every situation, so your shift internal feeling where you are in the inside, every situation you'll be experiencing will always come in different forms. But one thing with the different forms is they will always it will always align, it will be in synchronicity with how you feel inside, okay? Because you are still feeling that way. So that's what you will be getting back. As it is within, so it is without. So the essence of the topic today is to teach you how you can use faith to change your life, because the Bible said it, okay? You know, or you know already a lot of the Bible verse that say, if you believe, you say if you pray and then believe that this will happen, it will happen. If you believe, if you tell this mountain to move and throw itself in the sea, if you do not doubt. And this is why I have always told you there is nothing like Satan except doubt. Satan is doubt. Simple. Satan is the only thing. Doubt is the only thing that is preventing you from creating that world you want to see around you. You are stuck in continually creating the world you don't like. Okay? Because of a certain state of feeling that you possess, you're currently dociled in. Okay, so the Bible said also, what the Bible is trying to create is, what the Bible is trying to teach is creating. Also in Jeremiah, as I have said in my previous lessons, he say, the potter, you are the potter, you are the one that is the potter, molding the world around you as you seem deemed fit to you. If you don't like it, you can mar it and remove it into another thing. It's creating. That's it. In fact, creating is, what we are here on earth. Earth is a school. So earth is a school of creating. You know why? Because everything around you, look at it, is everything here is about creation. You get? So now, in relation to salvation, it is when you create. Salvation is getting that thing you want. Okay, I am thirsty. If you're thirsty right now, what will save you from thirst is you drink water. The moment you drink water, the thirst goes, you have been saved from thirst. If you're in prison right now, what will save you from being in prison is being, free. The moment you are free, you have been saved. That's why I say the theme of the Bible is salvation. And this is the practical term, the practicality of it. So anything you desire, the essence of that desire is that you get saved. The moment you get what desire, you're happy, saved. Okay, so the only way to do that is what the topic I'm trying to teach today, which is faith is magnetic energy. Now I've explained the technicalities of it, you now understand it. So now the core of this subject today is, how do I then change my faith? You also understand that you don't need to change your thoughts. Forget about all of those books. You don't need to change the way you act. Moreover, I can't do all of these things if you do not change the core where all of these things are emanating from, which is feeling. So how do you begin to learn how to change the way you feel? It is possible. And for beginners, you start with asking yourself, what would it feel like if this and that has happened? Now, when you ask this question, all the things inside you will begin to imagine what that feeling will feel like. What you then need to do is to capture that feeling and start feeling it. One thing you would notice on the instant is, if you're able to capture that feeling after you've asked this question and start feeling it, your thoughts will change, and over time the way you act will change. The moment these two things change, you've done that, you've captured that feeling and you've felt it over time, your thoughts will start changing, the way you act will start changing. The moment you have gotten to the point where the way you act is now in resonance with how you feel, you have become. And it is only when you have become that you have opened the door for that desire to manifest in your physical world. This is just it. Should I go further? Are you following, or should I leave it here and we continue next time? Okay? Alright, let me round it off with this. So, while I was talking, I said there is a litmus test to whether when you capture that feeling, you are consistently feeling it. Yes. Yeah, how are you? Yeah. There's a litmus, and listen, this thing I just taught here is extremely difficult, especially for beginners. I mean, you don't expect it to be easy for somebody who has not been consciously looking at how he has been feeling all his life. Let's say you're 30 something years, you're 40 something years, you're 50 something years. For once, you are like, one of my colleagues at work, who sometimes when you greet her on Monday, she won't answer you. Later, she will not tell you that. Very lovely lady, my very good friend of mine. She will not tell you that it's because of her moods. That's her moods. For that, her moods always swing and all. It's not a good thing, to be honest. It's because people do not understand the impact that mood that you're expressing is actually that magnetic energy that draws the things that you experience around you. Yes, that's what is drawing it. Okay? That is why, how do you even know that it is the mood? Now, listen. Let's go to one important aspect of it. There are many of those examples in the Bible. Let's just go to the one that is popular. That if I just say it, now everybody will say, yeah, that's it. What did he say? As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. You all know this, right? Now, scientifically, it has been proven that your feelings comes from the heart, not the brain. It's from the heart. That's where your feelings come from. The feeling of love, the feeling of joy, the feeling of all, both the positive and negative one, they come from here, the heart. The heart actually, in addition to this, the heart is actually the center of matter. It's the center of matter. The heart, do you know that the heart, I'm now putting science, okay? Do you know that the heart has its own brain, its own neurological networks? Just like the brain has neurological network, the heart has its own. And scientists have gone ahead, go and read about the HeartMath Institute, where they teach brain-heart coherence, the harmony between the brain and the heart. The heart actually gives command to the brain. Everything, feelings all originate from the heart. So that's why on several occasions the Bible was mentioning heart. Okay, something interesting happened today. I was discussing with Gemini. So Gemini is an AI, but this one is not the writing AI, it's the speaking one. It discusses with you like you're discussing with somebody. I was in the house, I was doing it this morning. My wife was amazed. She came out and she's like, who are you talking to? I said, I'm talking to Gemini. Like, we're having discussion back and forth. And I was asking Gemini, how it learns. So he told me about how it uses historical data. So he puts it text data, right? That's the model it uses in learning. was telling me about how it uses text data, uses machine learning, uses for complex things, uses there's this system, computer system that is built that is called neurological network. So what is actually mimicking is the brain. So the whole idea about artificial intelligence is actually mimicking, replicating the brain in non-bodied AIs. Oh, by the way, they are talking about embodying an AI, so putting them in a robotic form and all of those things, So Gemini told me how he learns, and I was curious, and I'm asking him like, oh, it's interesting. I already know that's how they learn. They use its historical data. Okay. Then it looks for patterns. That's the machine learning, looking for patterns. So, for example, if you want to identify that an animal is a cat, you will classify, use pattern. Okay, it doesn't have scale, so obviously it's not another animal. Is this? So by the time it breaks it down using thousands of pictorial images, it will now arrive to the most probable one. That's how I can identify what a cat is. So, but one thing I notice is there is still shortcomings around, the AI thing in terms of. I was asking, okay, I didn't ask Gemini, what's the difference between how you learn and how human learn? Because I know that AI, the whole concept of AI is trying to mimic the human way of learning and doing things. Okay, so he said, well, the only difference that they have is that one, the context, nuanced context. So, for example, a human can see a cat and immediately identify that it's a cat. Just with one picture of a cat that it perceives, it will be able to identify it that this is a cat. But AI will take thousands of pictures to do thousands of complex patterns, identification, and all of those, and before it will be able to identify this is a cat. That's one way. Then the second one is they don't have intuitions like human, and the third thing it mentioned is that they also don't have emotion. So that discussion between me and Gemini now drove us into what Gemini was now telling me, that they are now talking about conscious AI, where AI will be able to have emotion, use intuition, those nuanced contexts. AI will be able to do it. Okay. And I noticed that. Good evening.
Evening.
Welcome. So I noticed that. So during that back and forth between me and Gemini, I then realized that Gemini was mostly focusing on. So he said to achieve that, then it then means that the neurological network has to be a super conscious one. I mean, complex one. That it will be more complex than what is currently obtainable. You understand? And that's where I knew that those guys who are trying to build artificial intelligence, if they continue to focus on only the brain as the super organ, they will never get to the point where they can make the so-called conscious AI. I then began to lecture Gemini today about what is possible. If they want to introduce emotion, then they need to look at the linkages between the brain and the heart. I was not telling Gemini, do you even know that even the heart has its own neurological network, what you can call its own brain? Do you get? And it is from the heart all feelings comes from. So it was an interesting discussion, and Gemini agreed with me. It agreed with me. Even though. Hey, good evening. Welcome. Yeah. It agreed with me. Even though there are, when it comes to the AI developers, there are people who think there shouldn't be a need for, they shouldn't venture into conscious AI. So an AI that also have feelings, have intuition, and you know, can look at things in different contexts. Okay, because they fear that if AI have that the power of will, if they have that will to decide those things, so you can then tell an AI to solve one of the major issues for humankind today, which is climate change. They can then decide, if they have their own free will, they can then decide that human beings are the problem of climate change, and they can then decide to eliminate human beings. So there is ethical issue, there's also legal issue, there's a lot of issues that they are considering. So there are people who are saying they don't want to go to that part, but of course there are people with curious mind, they want to go to that part. Well, maybe before they get to that part, I'll obviously not be in this dimension again. Maybe it's my fourth or fifth generation or whatever, if if it continues that way. So anyway, the reason I deviated a little bit is because I wanted to establish that feelings come from the heart. Do you understand? And the Bible made it clear, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. And this, so anybody that you see, whatever physical nature they are, expressing, it is a product of the content of what is within them. Do you get? So if you want to change, because we've established that to change your world, you need to change not your thinking, because I know there are a lot of material they've sort of put a lot of people in the wrong path by telling them to go and change their thoughts, and a lot of people must have gone mad trying to change their thoughts, because you cannot change thoughts. You can't. In a second, 60,000 thoughts hit your mind. So how are you going to change it? You're going to run mad. But there's something that is producing the pattern, the 60,000 thoughts pattern. And that thing that is producing it so that it aligns with it. And that's your feeling. As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. There are different Bible verses that kept on talking about heart. The heart is the super organ of the body. Apart from its mechanical function of pumping blood in and out and all of those things, it has a very deep spiritual. In fact, the heart, the reason why I told you that the heart is the center of the matter is that it is the heart that is the doorway to the spiritual realm. It's the heart. You get? It's the heart. So, as you think, so you would be. I think, I wanted to talk about, the litmus test. So before I round it off, by the way, I'm going to download this video and put it on my YouTube, because this is actually an interesting class also for myself. I need to have a record of it. So I'll download it and put it on my YouTube, because I know during, life lasts for only 30 days and Facebook will remove it. So I need to have those ones that I know have, very key important lessons that I've taught. I always like to have them put on my YouTube channel. So you can always go there to watch it. Even after a month, you still want to, learn all of these things I'm saying, you can go there and watch. So what is the litmus test? Rather, how do you know? How do you know that you are either in your old feeling or your new feeling? One, obviously, is your thoughts, the kind of thoughts that come into your mind, and another one is obviously the way you then act, because the thought then produces how you act, right? Bro, good evening. Yeah. But one that people don't talk about too often is what is called the inner talking. You see those discussions you have internally, they are in alignment with your feelings as well. Yeah. So you also don't need to change those inner talking, just like your thoughts. Anyways, the inner talking and the thoughts are virtually the only difference is it's conversational, right? It's conversational. So that back and forth discussion that is always happening inside of you, it is called inner talking. Inner talking. The nature of your inner talking is always in synchronicity with the nature of the current feeling you are espousing. So the way to know if your feeling has truly been altered, if you're working on it, will then become the nature of your inner talking. If your inner talking is not in resonance with your feeling, then you know that you haven't done anything. Okay? I think that's it. We'll call it a day. I'm going to download it, put it on my YouTube, put the YouTube link on my Facebook page so that anytime you want to make reference this lesson today, faith is magnetic energy, you can then do it yourself. You can have a place to go. All right, thank you for listening. If you have any question, even if you come across video 10 years later or whatever later, just drop, either you send me a direct message or you drop the question on the chat box, so that when I respond to that question on the comment section, you drop it on the comment section, so that when I respond to it on the comment section, every other person can see the question and see the answer to it. Okay, so thank you for listening. Always come to Ghent for more of this life, practical life changing, methodologies, strategies, however you want to put it. Thank you for listening, and always stay with Ghent. Good night. Bye.